The long wait is almost over, folks. Dune Part 2 is finally releasing in cinemas on March 1st, almost 6 months later than scheduled due to the actors' strikes. As a huge fan of Dune, and the sci-fi genre in general, I'm buzzing for the film and already have my tickets booked. But it got me thinking, Dune Part 2 could be the most important film of the year, and here's why. Ever since COVID-19 and the meteoric rise of streaming platforms like Netflix, Prime and Disney, cinema has seen a huge decline in both box office sales and footfall through the door, sadly leading to some cinema chains closing their doors forever. It has never been easier to watch the next big Hollywood blockbuster at home, with some streaming platforms releasing their newest films on there exclusively and avoiding cinema theatres altogether. When you factor in that a large proportion of people have huge TVs and surround sound, it's never been easier or cheaper to almost replicate that cinema vibe. And at the same time, the cinema experience has rapidly declined in both value for money and quality. With cinema prices going through the roof and adults looking at £21 plus in England now, and that doesn't even include the snacks guys, and cinema chains pushing their monthly membership subscriptions down our throats, forcing people to reluctantly sign up to yet another monthly fee. Factor in some inconsiderate and rude members of public, either talking, on their phones, or just causing a nuisance, and you're beginning to understand why cinema is dying. And don't even get me started on the TikTok generation, who no longer have an attention span to focus on a feature-length film, rather choosing, I kid you not, to watch it in 100 parts on TikTok. Blah blah blah. Where you going with all this, Jackson? Aren't we talking about Dune Part 2? And yeah, we are. I'm just setting the scene for the bleak reality of cinema. And here is why we need desert power. Desert power. If you look at box office figures in particular, they have been more or less dreadful for years now. And even the old faithfuls like superhero films, Mission Impossibles, Fast and Furiouses, you name it, they're failing to meet lofty expectations. Only as recent as last month did we have star-studded Argyle spectacularly flop, and that cast was as A-lister as it comes. Don't even get me started on Madam Web, or the downfall of superhero films in the last few years, Marvel included. Now Dune Part 2 is as big a Hollywood blockbuster as you could get. The GOAT Hans Zimmer is scoring the film, Hollywood A-listers, a highly competent director, shot in IMAX for IMAX, and not forgetting the excellent source material either. Gen Z royalty Zendaya and Timothée Chalamet? Need I say more, honestly? But to most, Dune Part 2 is just another sci-fi film. But to Hollywood and the art of cinema, I feel this could well be make or break. And I know that sounds over the top, but when big hitters like Disney and Marvel are losing millions and millions of dollars per release, a huge blockbuster film like Dune really needs to succeed to almost convince studios to continue investing in these big budget blockbusters, and for cinema to effectively stay alive. Because let's be honest now, your average Joe is only going to the cinema now for the big blockbusters anyway. Sure, people like me, we go all the time, we've got the membership passes, but we're few and far between. And we need the average Joe to go back to the cinema. Oppenheimer did give cinema a shot in the arm, but Dune Part 2 really needs to bolster that immunity and keep cinema fighting another day. And as a fan of the cinema experience, particularly IMAX, and movies in general, I truly fear for the future of cinema, and releases like Dune are so critical to the craft staying alive. Long gone are the golden days where cinema and Hollywood are thriving, and I pray we get back to that one day. Here's hoping Dune pulls in some monster numbers, otherwise we could be witnessing the beginning of the end of the Hollywood blockbuster. Well, that's all I have to say on the topic, but let me know in the comments if you agree with me. Do you plan on seeing Dune Part 2 in the cinema? Or are you waiting for it to release on streaming platforms first? And if you're new here, then welcome to the channel. I cover all things TV and film, and I hope you stick around as we grow this community. My goal is to get large enough to properly talk about TV and film, collaborate with others and discuss the hottest topics with other like-minded people, such as yourself, live or in the comments. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.